Hi guys, welcome back to Storytime with Mr. C. Without any further ado, let's crack on with The Character Strikes Back by Tom Palmer. Day 3. The Runner Coming the Other Way. When I got home the night before, I told my wife everything. She was calm. She keeps my feet on the ground. She said my worries that a Russian madman was coming after me were probably in my imagination, but that if I wanted to go away for a while, that was fine. The following day, I was to be touring a North Yorkshire school. I hate letting schools down, so we decided that my wife and daughter would go to her parents' house in the Midlands, and I'd head up north to the school. I drove there early that morning. On the way, I tried out some of the techniques I had learned about being a detective. No, I'm not a detective, and I never have been a detective. But one of the things I like to do when I'm writing the foul playbooks is learn about what I'm writing about. For instance, in one of the books, Dead Ball in fact, Danny has to follow a footballer that he thinks is up to no good. He knows that there are special ways you can follow someone in public without being seen. So he goes to the library to find books about it. He learns things like to try to walk on the other side of the road to the person you are following, and that if the person you are following turns around, don't suddenly stop and look in the window. Just carry on walking, even overtaking them if you have to. This way you can better avoid detection. I had also read about what to do to make sure you're not being followed by another car. 1. Drive slowly, really slowly, to see if someone is driving slowly behind you. 2. Go round the roundabout several times. That way the person following you cannot continue without being spotted. 3. Turn off the motorway at the last moment without indicating. Dangerous, but you can see what people are up to. Anyway, I did all those things, and it was clear to me that nobody was following me. Maybe I was making it all up in my head. I talked to 3 schools in North Yorkshire, 10 a.m, 11:30 a.m, and 2 p.m. Leaving the last school, I knew I needed somewhere to stay. I wasn't going home tonight. And I'd already made up my mind where I would like to stay. In Midland, a village I know well. When I was a kid, my mum and dad used to take me there for holidays every year. I drove to Midland, still making sure I wasn't being followed. I wasn't. Once I had checked into the Black Bull, a pub at the bottom of the square, I went for a run. I like running. I do it 3 or 4 times a week. I knew where I was going to run to. Up along Penn Hill, one of the biggest hills in the area. I drove to the foot of the hill, did some stretching, and headed off. It wasn't easy. The first bit is steep, but once you're on top of it, it's flat, and you can see for miles. And I had it all to myself. Except for another runner who was a couple of miles away, coming in the other direction. There's a special reason I love Penn Hill. Both my parents' ashes are scattered up there. They died when I was quite young. I have this strange ritual. When I have a new book, I take a copy up there and leave it for them to read. I had one with me today, the latest foul playbook, Killer Pass. Anyway, I was running along thinking of nothing, because I don't think when I run, watching the other runner coming closer and closer and closer, and thinking how it would be nice to say hello to a fellow runner and then carry on. And I was feeling good because of the book, and because I got away from home, and because my family was safe with my wife's parents, and because I was starting to realise that this whole Russian thing probably was in my head. The wind was behind me too, carrying me along. I felt happy for the first time in years. Until I saw the other runner suddenly coming out of a dip. It was him. man from the school, train, the library. The man who had been outside my house, I was sure. And my stomach contracted. I felt the air had been punched out of my lungs. I turned to run back the way I had come, fast. The problem was, I'm rubbish at running fast, and rubbish at running when my heart is hammering and at running into the wind. I immediately felt sick and weaker than I needed to be to run well. Worrying that I would not be able to outrun him on the track, I scrambled down a short dip to my left and looked. I turned and started to run again, my mind bursting with questions. What was all this about? Why did this man keep appearing? Would he catch me? And if he did, what was he going to do to me on this moor, miles and miles from anywhere? We'll find out tomorrow when I read day 4 of The Character Strikes Back. Stay safe, everybody. Bye-bye.